Hey guys, and welcome to InDee's InterYOU, a segment where we talk to creators about their experiences on and offline. So let's see who we have interviewing today. So guys, yes, thank you for coming and definitely showing support to this amazing human being. So guys, this is Ira. Ira is an amazing streamer, like I said. She is so creative, and what I found out recently is that she's a J-pop performer, so we are going to be diving into that. We are legit going to be diving into that. So first of all, I remember a little while ago when I first met you. I could not pronounce your name for love nor money. It was like I was struggling. My soul was like, why can't I say the simplest of words? But where does Eirawave come from?
So Ira is Welsh. It's Welsh for snow. It's a stage name I've used since I was 16. I did a lot of YouTube covers and stuff, which is how I got into idol stuff, and I used the stage name Ira from when I was about 16 till now. The wave bit is supposed to be like radio waves, but everyone just thinks it's like the sea. So I have to be like, no.
I mean, it kind of makes sense because you've got the music side, and so you're having that kind of wave makes sense. See, now I know, guys. It's pronounced Ira, not Ira or anything. Please say it properly.
Aria, like they call me in conventions.
Aria, really? Oh my goodness, Aria. I'm trying to work out how they would even get that from the four letters.
I don't know, and I correct them every time, and still the next time it's like, here's Aria.
So Genesis has just said Arya Snow. Look, this is not a Game of Thrones moment, okay? I see where you're going with it. But you mentioned that you do conventions and stuff like that. What other tell us a little bit more about you. What else do you do?
I do a lot. So I work full-time as a graphic designer. Pre-COVID, I was also a performer at conventions. Mm-hmm. I'm also an amateur musician. I make my own music. And I do art stuff. I do commissions these days.
That's pretty good.
It's art stuff, so I think that's everything.
It's actually really good because it's you're a J of all trades, basically. You kind of you do a bit of everything, which is really, really cool. I mean, especially with the pop idol kind of dancing and singing. What initially got you into that?
So I've been doing YouTube covers online since I was a very small child, since I was maybe 10 or 11.
Oh, okay.
And I've been into J-pop for the longest time. I wanted to be a pop star and all of that. And I really like idols as well. I really, really loved idol music when I was younger, and I really wanted to learn the dances and do all the singing. And then, because I grew up in Wales, we don't have really good access to conventions here. But when I moved out, I moved to the southwest, which is a bit closer to London, and I was able to start a group with some uni friends where we learned the dances, and then
that's really
from
cool.
that we started performing at MCM and stuff, and then in the last few years I've been going solo. So
that is really,
a whole
really
journey.
Cool. Yeah, it sounds it. My goodness. I mean, I know a few people that also kind of do stuff like that. A good friend of mine, Juju Bon, she is a dancer.
Oh, you know Juju?
Yeah, she used to work for me.
Yes.
Yeah, because I have, so I actually ran... Oh, really? Oh my God, see, small world. Oh my goodness.
I love Juju so much.
Yeah, she is so lovely. So I actually ran a Japanese maid cafe called Meigo Cafe, and she was actually one of my girls. So part of her talent was to do dancing. So she's amazing. Oh my gosh,
the convention world in the UK is so small.
It's, you know what, the thing is, it looks so massive. It's when you go to MCM and the Excel Center, you're like, oh my God, I'm in a completely new world, and then you realize, I know this one and this one and this one and this one and this one. It's just everyone knows everyone.
More than two, and then you know everyone.
Exactly. You only need one or two to actually meet everybody, because everyone is just so friendly. And kind of with that in mind, dancing in public, singing, that takes a hell of a lot of confidence that a lot of people actually don't have. What do you think gave you that confidence or bravery to do that?
That's such a difficult question because I feel like I have like anxiety and stuff.
Oh
So
wow.
like people always ask me like how can you get up and perform
Yeah.
on stage like with anxiety, and I'm like, I don't have anxiety about being on stage. I have anxiety about like smaller interactions, like
Yeah.
one-to-one interactions and stuff is like where my anxiety lies. So like
Right.
getting up on stage is like no big deal, and I feel like being on stage as well, like it's the best place to dance because you're like so powered by adrenaline and you have like the
Yeah.
crowd like cheering you on and stuff, and it's like such a good environment. It's so encouraging, and then you
Yeah.
get off the stage, and even if you made 100 mistakes, you just want to do it again. Like it's so much fun.
Yeah, because you've got so many people around, and I do understand that, like from the anxiety perspective, where it's like from a solo person, because you've got that small talk, breaking the ice kind of thing, and you're just like, what do I say to you if I don't know you, kind of thing. Like I don't
Yeah,
know.
exactly. So the reason why I started streaming on Twitch was because when I was doing shows solo, it would get to the point where I'd have to take a break between dances, and I'd like pick up the microphone and I'd be like, hi, and that would be it. So I was like, I really need to get better at talking and like talking to an audience without them
Yeah.
necessarily being able to give me instant feedback. So I was like, I'll start streaming on Twitch and I'll get better at talking, and that will help my stage shows. And then COVID happened, so I haven't been able to reap the benefits from that yet.
I mean, I think you're doing well right now. Like, where, I feel like you're conversing very, very well. So, I think it's doing some ways of good if you think about it that way. Because, like,
it's such an easy way to get better at just expressing yourself and like,
yeah.
because you have to talk all the time, whether there's anyone to talk to or not. So
Exactly, and I think that's the beauty of streaming. Like a lot of people don't really understand that when it comes to streaming, it's not about who comes and watches. It's not about how many come and watch. It's about how you are projecting that content. Which is why I always say to people, it's good to kind of focus on what you're doing. So if you're kind of doing it for the fact that you want to get better at, speaking publicly, like that's a really good inspiration, like to have. And I hope you guys are watching this. I hope you guys are paying attention to this. Okay, this is good tips. People pay money for this. Okay, you guys are getting this for free. Okay,
right? So many good tips on this channel. Like you can learn so much.
We learn so much from each other. I do by learning, and I think that's what it is. That's the good thing about it. I mean, I think one thing I saw from you did, was it Starlight Idol Festival? So you actually went international.
Yeah, I did.
How was that?
So yeah, that was like amazing, like just the most amazing experience I've ever had in my performing career. Unfortunately, it was like just before COVID, so
yeah.
But in November 2019, I got to go to Atlanta and perform at Starlight Idol Festival at Anime Weekend Atlanta, and that was like the biggest convention I've ever seen in my life. Like,
really?
I understand that it's like a small convention for US standards, but it's way bigger than anything in the
compared
UK.
to the UK, yes.
Yeah. And I was like so starstruck, like my mind was blown. I got to meet so many really cool people, and a lot of like internet friends as well. And that was like the really, really nice thing for me was that I met so many people who I only knew online, and they were so kind. Like they were just as kind in person as they had been to me online, and I was like, I felt so welcomed there. And like to go to another country and feel really welcomed is really something. It was amazing.
That is such an experience. Oh, I'm so glad that happened, especially before COVID. Like, can you imagine if that had actually been the case? Yep, we got this set up, and then COVID happened in November rather than in March. Like that would have been.
I would have been so gutted, especially because I had to work up all of the courage to like travel to the US on my own.
Oh, you travelled alone?
Yeah.
Wow. How was that for you?
It was difficult, but like a really rewarding experience. I've been like working my way up to doing more solo travel in like for years, because I always was like, I want to go to these places, but I don't have anyone to go with. So I was like slowly working my way up. Like there was a point where I had to like work my way up to going to London on my own, like let alone another country. But over the years, like I managed to like get a bit more confident and do more trips and like figure out what would help my anxieties with that and stuff.
I mean, do you ever feel that you could kind of share these experiences that you have with anxiety to the masses, because anxiety is a thing. Like, people don't realize that anxiety comes in loads of different shapes, sizes and forms, and it seems like you've been tackling so many over your career as a progression. So I mean, what kind of tips would you give to somebody who has those anxieties?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I found like I didn't realize I had anxiety issues. Like, I've had anxiety issues my own whole life, but I didn't know what it was until I was an adult. And then from there, it was kind of like figuring out what worked best for me in terms of like what can I do in a certain situation to lessen the anxiety. Like, do I need to bring a friend with me the first time I go somewhere? And like with travel and stuff, I found out that if I go somewhere the first time, if I'm with a friend, like, that's fine, and then after that I can go by my own and I'll feel okay. Like, and I do stuff like look up on Google Street View like where I'm going and stuff.
I do that too.
Like, get some familiarity, because otherwise I'm like, I don't know. But it's all about, for me, it's all about like working my way up to big things and not just like diving straight in at the deep end.
Yeah, and you've really got to be proud of yourself with that, because a lot of people are very scared to take that step. Like we said, anxiety is a real thing. So you really got to be proud of yourself, and like, really well done to you. Like, I'm proud of you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. You mentioned that you do your own music. Like, what inspired you to do this?
It definitely came out of doing idol stuff. So when I started with YouTube covers, I learned like the technical side of like matching up vocals with the backing track and like the effects and stuff. So I learned a lot of like technical skills from that. And then I was also like, I also had a brief phase where I was really into Vocaloid, and I think that's probably what inspired me the most, actually, because I don't know if you remember, but there was a program called InterYOU where you could make your own Vocaloid with your voice.
Yep, I know that. That one.
Yeah, and I did that. I made like 3.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, and then I was like, no one will take my Vocaloid seriously unless they have their own song.
Do you know what? I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I am still a massive Vocaloid fan. I still play the games religiously. Even more so, like, where I used to work with Sega. Obviously, Vocaloid is Sega based, so it's just like, oh my god, I can play Hatsune Miku all day, every day without any shame.
So
I have
fun.
it. Like, it's so good. I've got it on the DS. I've got it on the Switch. I've got it on the PlayStation. I've got it on the VR. It's just like, I can't go anywhere without it. So it's almost like, for me, those songs, it's almost like they kind of speak to you, like music in general, right? Thinking about the way music makes you feel, like, if you was to write a song, like, what would be the first 3 topics you would have? Like, what kind of emotion would you put into it?
So I actually like just released like EP thingy at the end of last year, and it was about, one of the songs was about my depression, and the other song was about my anxiety.
Oh, wow.
Because like my mental health is like a big thing. It's probably like the biggest thing that affects my whole life.
That is fantastic.
I wrote a song about each one, and then I also wrote a song which I use for my stream intros now, which is like an 8-bit song, and I kind of like did just to try writing an 8-bit like video gamey song. And then I was like, actually, like, this sounds really hopeful. Like, it sounded like the theme song to like the end of an RPG when you've like done the final boss and it plays like cute little tune. Like, it reminded me of Undertale and stuff. So I was like, this is a really good one to pair with these 2 songs about like the biggest struggles in my life.
That is fantastic. I mean, do you have SoundCloud or something?
Yeah, I have a Bandcamp.
If you give that link to one of my mods, or even to me, like, in the chat, like, guys, please make sure you go and check her out and follow what she's doing on SoundCloud, because that sounds absolutely amazing. No, my mods are ready.
On Spotify, actually.
Really? On Spotify? Yeah. Oh my god.
I got it put on Spotify at the end of last year.
Guys, we've actually got a superstar up in here. Like, hello? Hello?
It's surprisingly not that difficult to get your music on Spotify.
Hey, don't sell yourself short. You're like on Spotify. Like everybody is on Spotify, okay? So that is amazing. Everyone definitely drop a follow. Do exclamation mark InterYOU in the chat to get more of Ira's socials. That's amazing. Oh, even more proud of you now. I need to listen to all of this. Like, forget listening to freaking old school R&B. I'm just gonna listen to Eirawave. Like,
Yeah.
and your name is so marketable too. So like...
yeah. I'm really glad like I stuck with that name because it's just me now. It's just my name. I have my like real life name and I have Ira, and like both of those are me.
That's so good. I mean, like, do you ever consider yourself being able to teach people how to do this, or would you do this on stream? Because I know you more so game on stream, but
yeah,
would you do something like teaching dancing, or teaching people how to project or sing or anything like that? Because that's something that I have not seen on Twitch in terms of people doing J-pop or idol dancing and actually giving people a step-by-step guide on how to do that. Would you do something like that?
Yeah, I'd actually really love to. I think so the problem for me at the moment is like space and like setup and stuff, especially with dancing. But it's like one of my goals for this year is to incorporate more of my creative stuff into my actual streams. And I did an art stream last week, and next week I'm doing a music stream for the first time.
Amazing!
So I really want to do more of that kind of stuff, and especially if it can help other people to learn, because I think these skills are like a lot more accessible than most people think. Like I feel like anyone can make music if you know like a few basic things, and like there's so many programs that make it easier for you as well. So I would really love to be able to help other people do things like that.
I mean, that's something that you can do. I mean, I know you were saying that, like space is an issue currently, but you've got a bunch of videos on YouTube. I mean, you can always do something like re-edit and just slow it down and just show them you're dancing in like on a screen and like go step by step with them, which is also like a kind of temporary solution. Because I'm not gonna lie, I dance around like a maniac. So like I would be more than happy to be like, guys, I just did an Eirawave, like check it out.
I think it would be really fun to do stuff like that. I have some ideas, like maybe like a channel point redemption where I show you how to do a dance move or something like that. Because I know like people who watch me who like baby metal and stuff like that, and obviously I introduce people to a lot of idol music. So I'm like, what if I show you the moves from baby metal?
That would be awesome. Like I would definitely be up for seeing that 110%. Everyone in the chat, welcome in. Everyone that's just joined as well, welcome. Yeah, I'd love to see that. That would be something. Again, it's something that you don't actually see on Twitch, and because it's something that you do anyway, it would come naturally for you.
Yeah, I definitely want to try and like incorporate more of my idol and creative stuff into streaming this year. It's a big
definitely. Goal. Oh, well then, you know what? We're behind you 110%. So, guys, make sure you're smashing that follow button. Make sure you definitely follow Ira. So, I have to ask, who is your favorite J idol? Come, like you must have a single favorite.
So I grew up watching Morning Musume. They were my favorite for like my whole childhood. They're like really important to me, even though I don't listen to them anymore. And then my absolute favorites would have to be Kote Camera Girl Dre, who are a really like indie alt idol group, and they rap and sing. They actually like disbanded last year, and I'm like still absolutely heartbroken because they were incredible.
Oh wow! But I mean, their music's still around though, right? I mean, you could like
they're on Spotify as well. Their music is so good. Like I'm really inspired by small idol groups and underground idol groups now, because a lot of their music, like it might be self-produced or it might be really simple. Yeah. And like that's the kind of thing I'm aiming for myself. So it's a lot easier to be inspired by those kind of groups.
Yeah, that's actually pretty cool as well. I mean, like with things like that, they have like their fan base may not be massive, but it like also kind of allows you to kind of get in there early and like see all of their early stuff. So when they do eventually like blow up, you could be like, you know what, this is where they started and this is where you started, and you know that you can get there too, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, a group I started following, like maybe like 4 or 5 years ago now. Like really blew up like a couple of years after I started listening to them. And recently I got to be on a TV program in Japan where I got to talk about like my love for the group, and they got to like see my video about me talking about them, and they played some of my dance video and stuff, and that was like such an incredible experience.
That is fantastic. How did that make you like feel overall? Because I can even see in your face right now that you're still very like, oh my god, that actually happened kind of thing.
I was like so emotional like watching the video back and like looking at like these idols like watching my video and being like, wow, they said that about my music. And like it was really humbling as well, because even idols, like, they don't necessarily know how much of an impact they have on people, and when they hear it from someone, like some of the girls like started crying at some of the video messages. It was so moved by it. It was adorable.
Oh, that is really nice. But it's good though, because I suppose for somebody like you who is actually, you know, trying to build themselves up in that way, especially with like the anxiety that we were speaking about before, it must be a really big confidence boost for you.
Yeah, getting to do stuff like that like really is amazing. Like it makes you feel like, oh yeah, like I do belong here as an idol fan, and as an idol, like this is something I truly love, and this is something I can do things and achieve things in.
Yeah, I mean, things like that is really, I really love to hear people's stories, because everyone has like different stories, different backgrounds, and the fact that yours comes from like the pop idol side of things and the music background, like it's just instant love for me. So like I really actually enjoy that. So kind of like thinking about, you know, Twitch as a platform with what you do, like have you found any hardships?
So I've mainly been gaming at the moment. There's definitely been hardships. I think everyone like has struggles, and I think particularly doing it during the last year, which has been like both a blessing and a curse, because I found that I'm spending a lot of time on Twitch to make up for time I would have spent like preparing for conventions and stuff. And then I'm also like missing the conventions and missing like the face-to-face interaction, and trying to find like new ways to do what I used to do, because obviously like we don't know when events are coming back, so I don't know when I'm going to be able to dance on stage again. So it's like just finding another way of like doing all of those things, and Twitch has been like definitely an option. Like things like DMCA have been like a big worry. If I ever wanted to move in that direction. Obviously it's not as much of an issue with games, but like if I'm gonna like play music on stream, I have to like be like, am I gonna get my channel like taken down for this and stuff, especially when Twitch don't have like much of a solution for it at the moment, like YouTube do.
I mean, at the moment, you can challenge Twitch for muting sound or music on your channel, regardless whether it's from game or from actual groups. And I think, you know, from your perspective, especially when you're like more so listening to these underground groups more, I mean, because they're still quite small, like perhaps would you consider like maybe writing to them and asking if you could play their music on your channel, because it gives them exposure and you've also got permission. So if Twitch was to be like no, you could be like, well actually yes, and like raise a dispute, and then it should be okay. I mean, I've seen people like try and raise claims on it before.
Yeah, it's definitely an option. I also help with I help run an idol festival for Black and Black heritage idols on Twitch.
That's amazing.
So like it's more, the DMC is more of an immediate concern for this. So I've been looking into like even getting licenses and stuff. But like for the moment it's like until we run into a problem, we're maybe just going to keep going as we are.
Yeah, I mean, if you can keep going and everything's going okay, like you may as well ride the wave, so to speak. So
yeah.
You know, so that's actually, it's not too bad. I mean, it's more of a hurdle than a complete and utter block. So
yeah, definitely.
So I mean, like,
there's always like a way to do what you want to do.
Yeah, exactly. There's always a loophole somewhere.
Yeah.
As long as it's legal, guys, don't do anything illegal. Please. Like, you know, we have to be adult about this sometimes, okay? I sometimes it's very, very thin, by the way, guys. Just behave. So I mean, like, on the flip side of that, you know, there must be some really good positives for being on Twitch. Like, can you name a few that you just share with everyone?
Yeah, so like obviously the confidence boost and getting better at speaking has been a really big one.
Mm.
I've also met like some really, really incredible people, like so many incredible people. I've become part of like loads of really cool communities, like
Yeah.
Black Girl Gamers
Yeah.
and Black Twitch UK, and like those communities have brought me like so much joy as well with streaming, and like I think especially like BGG and Black Twitch
Mm.
UK is so supportive. Like
Yeah, 110%.
it doesn't matter what size you are. It's like really like we're all in this together.
Yeah.
And the charity streams that I did at the end of last year with Black Twitch UK were like the
Oh, that was
most like
amazing.
the most I felt to like doing a community event for like the longest time. Like it was really like everyone had their own streams going on, and like we were all like contributing to the same goals. So it was like really, really like everyone
That
felt like
was.
so tight knit and so close. And I got to meet some really cool people from it as well.
Thank you for the biddies. I appreciate it. But yeah, like I totally agree. Like that is something that I was keeping an eye on it. You know, I was watching, and my God, the support that I saw you getting on your channel as well, that was absolutely phenomenal. I think
Yeah,
you reached your goal very quickly, and then you
I
increased it and then
did.
reached it again, I'm pretty sure. Like I remember,
Yeah.
and that was so good, like being.
I really like I couldn't talk about the positives of being on Twitch without talking about like my incredible, incredible community who've
Yeah.
like been there from the start, and they're always so generous with their time and their support.
Mm.
Like I'm always like a little bit like, oh, I'm not sure if I did good at this, or like it's like I'm very down on myself a lot, and they'll always be
Mm.
like, shut up, you're amazing, we think you're great. And
Yeah.
it's
But
like,
you
okay, I
gotta
guess
own
I'll
it. You have to own it, because you know
yeah.
what? It's funny because and what I think, even with our communities in general, it's kind of like we don't see what other people see. So when they're like, "Oh, you know, you're amazing, you're amazing, you're amazing," we're like, "Really? Are you sure?"
Yeah. I'm like, actually no, I'm just a normal person, but thank you.
But you know what? I think, you know, as a streamer or a content creator, or even like an idol, you know, it's very much that we're helping people get through their struggles. So, and what they don't realize is they're helping us get through our struggles.
Yeah,
So,
it's definitely a two-way street. Like, I feel
yeah.
like there's no way I could have possibly repaid all of the generosity I've seen from my
Mm,
community. But then they say like, "Oh, your streams really like help me. They keep me company.
yeah.
You make me laugh when I'm feeling down, and like that's
Yeah.
really important to people."
Yeah, of
So I
course.
think it's good to like be told that sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. It gives that encouragement to keep going. 110%. Like especially like I put a post up not too long ago just saying, you know, we are, you know, as content creators, we're people as well. So, you know, we go through the same trials and tribulations and things like that, and it's, you know, it's important that that everybody understands that we're all one in the same. You know, nobody is superior over anyone else. Nobody is underneath anybody else. We're all at that same level. The only difference is that we just push the live button also, and we help everybody else. So I think it's again, it's something that's very admirable even between content creators. So I mean, like for you, if you could give a piece of advice to any viewer or any upcoming content creator, it could be any kind of advice on anything, like what would be the first thing that you would actually tell them?
About like streaming or
Anything like
about anything,
just like
man.
as a content creator,
Just
like you are there,
as a
you're on the stage right now, you're at a convention, and somebody says, "Ira, give me some advice." Like, what would be the first thing you say?
uh your happiness comes before anything else. Like you need to look after yourself in every sense of the word. I think whatever you want to do in life, like it starts with looking after yourself and making sure you're happy and you feel comfortable and you have good people around you. That is like a good foundation for literally doing anything. You can do anything if you're happy and healthy and well supported.
Yeah, that's definitely words to live by, 110%. Like, I totally agree with that. So I have to ask, if Twitch was not an option, would you still find somewhere else to produce your content? Like, would you find somewhere to project all the amazing things that you do currently?
Yeah, I was doing a lot of stuff before Twitch anyway. I only started streaming almost a year ago now, like last February. So before that I've done YouTube like several different times in several different areas over the years, like since I was a teenager. So I had my Vocaloid YouTube back in the day. And then I tried to do like fashion YouTube for a bit. I tried to do fashion YouTube and absolutely flopped.
Really? Would you ever go back to it?
I like doing some of the videos, but like the need to like constantly be putting out stuff was like a big stress for me around like my work life and stuff. I think I'm happiest when I'm doing like 10 different things at once. That doesn't necessarily mean that I can be consistent on one particular thing.
Okay, that's actually really good because I mean, you know, a lot of people kind of struggle with. Funny enough, they really struggle with that question. They're like, oh, if I don't have Twitch, I don't really know what I would do. But I mean, you know, like you said, you know, you've been doing this before Twitch, so it's almost like it's like an adaptation to what you're doing. So that kind of works more so for you.
Yeah, it was meant to be a compliment to everything else. It was gonna be like, oh, I go to live shows every 3 months, and then I do a couple of Twitch streams a week, and like the Twitch streams were supposed to be so that people who came to my shows could get to know me better as a person.
Yeah.
And it didn't work out that way so far because I haven't been able to go to any events, but that's where I hope to end up. And I want to be doing other stuff as well, like making art and making music. And yeah, there's always like ways to share those things as well.
Yeah, definitely we're going to be looking forward to seeing what you're putting out and what you come up with, like, because you, like I said, you're a very inspiring person, and to see how creative you are, it does give confidence to not just myself but obviously everybody else that's watching. So I mean, like, if you could do one thing over, if you could pick one thing out of everything that you've done so far, as a major do-over that could potentially be better now, what do you think that would be? I'm throwing the hard questions out today, guys.
Yeah, it's really tough. I would probably redo like actually my professional career because like I'm really happy where I am now. I'm a graphic designer in the games industry, so it's like really really cool and really fun.
Nice.
But I think like when I was like a teenager and like just thinking about going to uni and stuff, I wanted to do so many different creative things, and I had to choose one. And because I wanted to do so many different things, I didn't know which direction I wanted to go in. I chose one that was like wasn't necessarily the best for me, and because of that, I've had to kind of like do a big like loop around to get to where I am in my career.
Yeah.
So if I could go back and like do uni again, I'd do like probably like fashion design or music technology, so I could actually get those professional skills to do it professionally instead of just as a hobbyist.
Oh, okay. That sounds really, really good. I mean, you know, where you are now is still pretty good, but I guess if you could have turned back the clock, that would have worked out.
Yeah, I definitely think at the very least this is where I am and I can't change anything. So like this, all I can do is like work from today. Like I can't change anything that happened before that. So I'm gonna just do my best with what I've got.
Yeah, exactly, precisely. So we have a question from Yoshi. He said, can Ira share with us what she has planned for 2021?
Yeah, kind of. I have like nothing specific planned because I was like, we don't know where this year is going. But it's my goal to do more creative streams. I want to do like regular art streams. I want to make that a regular part of my schedule. I also have been given the opportunity to do more cool things in terms of like collaborations with people who make games and stuff, and like other streamers and stuff, and like do some really cool projects. I think like for me this year, like last year was possibly like figuring out Twitch and figuring out myself on Twitch, and then this year is going to be where I push the boundaries, hopefully, and do something like totally different and something that feels a lot more like me instead of like just like fitting into what's already there on Twitch. I really want to be more true to myself this year.
Yeah, and I think that's important. I think everybody, whether they're streamers or not, should kind of definitely like really think about that, because I find that a lot of people that are not being their more authentic selves don't get as far as they want, or they can't project the way they should. So again, that's really like inspiring words to kind of live by, honestly.
Yeah, I
Um,
definitely think like everyone has something about them that doesn't exist on Twitch, and the
mm,
reason why someone would choose to watch you is because of like something that's uniquely you. Like it could be your personality, it could be
yeah.
something funny, it could be like a silly talent that you do that someone can use for channel points. Like, I have a good friend Connie who plays the kazoo. Like she plays
Really?
anime songs on kazoo as a channel points thing, and it's the funniest thing ever. Like genuinely so entertaining.
I need to see this. Who is she? Who is she? Feel free to plug her. Like, feel free to plug it.
uh Koniku. Um
Oh my god, I love the kazoo. Of course you do, Yoshi. Why wouldn't you, Yoshi? I mean,
I think that's her username.
okay,
Yeah.
awesome. So finally, as we're coming up to the end, tell us where we can find you. Like where the other than Twitch, like where else can we find you?
Instagram and Twitter, and YouTube is where I post like performance videos and stuff whenever I get back to performing. And then also Spotify and Bandcamp for my music.
Awesome, awesome. And they're all under the name Eirawave as well, right?
Yep, Eirawave everywhere.
Eirawave everywhere. See, you are lucky. Like, I literally couldn't even get my Twitter account to just stay as InDee's. I've had to like put words in front of it. But
Yeah,
you know,
thankfully I changed my username just before I started streaming on Twitch, so I had the opportunity to check
oh,
everywhere before I committed
that's
to it.
good. No, that's really good. So, like, guys, make sure that you're following Ira everywhere. Like, don't do it in a stalkerish way because he'll have to report you. But definitely check her out. Make sure that you show her the most amazing amount of love and support that you guys have been doing so far. You guys are absolutely phenomenal. Ira, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
It's
you
been
for
a
having me.
pleasure.
And thank you everyone for the nice comments in the chat.
Yes. All right, thank you again. It has been an absolute pleasure, and we will
Thank
definitely
you
be
for
catching
having
you Friday.
me.
No, it's been a pleasure. I'd love having you here. Thank you so much.